So we're live here today, folks, at undisclosed location, at Lee Park in North Bay, and celebrating our freedom. They've also revoked, since June 9th, the declaration of emergency. So we're still here standing strong, doing what we can to support those that are still suffering. Pretty
welcome
humid
all
today,
you
again.
tinfoil hatter conspiracy theorists.
He knows my name.
I know your name. And we're looking for some new conspiracy theories because we've all run out, right? They've all come true.
The sky is purple!
They're no longer theories. So we're wondering if the police even know we're here. They might be down at the waterfront waiting for us.
For a bunch of
They
deviants.
thought we gave up. We succumbed to their authoritarianism. Do we have news for them? They might be partying without us down there. Today is a theme we're going to be talking about commitment. So if you want to come up and do any testimonials about commitment. Years and years ago, I was involved in what was a pretty major car crash. There was a 14-car pileup. And my car was a write-off. And the only thing that actually wasn't crushed in my car was my passenger seat. So I was just amazed that I got out of it alive. But I was also forced to lay flat on my back for well over a month and contemplate, because that's the way Source speaks, right? If you're not paying attention, it gets a little bit louder and a little bit louder. So I was kind of forced to lie on my back, and I had nowhere else to go but in. So there was a lot of reflection and introspection that went on. And one of the things I learned, and I know for sure, that nothing happens by accident, number one. And number two, everybody has their stories, and everybody's story is just a story, but it's also a doorway in. A doorway into what? A doorway into Source, to Spirit, to guidance. And we're living a pretty big story right now, aren't we? And part of our learning and our knowing and our understanding has to be that it is just a story. It is our doorway in, our doorway into remembering who we are. All in agreement on that?
Yeah. Aye.
Yeah. So getting not caught in the matrix, seeing there is a bigger picture at play, and understanding that we are all here to claim our sovereignty back. Not just our sovereignty as a human being, but our sovereignty as children of God, as seeds of the planet. And our children we have given, sold, and let go of. We're here to claim them back on every level. Whether it's from child trafficking or from our inner child inside of us. It's time to occupy. We're going to talk more about occupy. So my commitment is that we're here to occupy ourselves, right? Our communities, our families, and who we are as sovereign beings. So on that note, we have a great announcement to make. Speaking of commitment, our local freedom fighter, Greg Galanti, was nominated yesterday. He won the nomination as representing us for Nipissing Initiative. So on that note, I would love to please invite Greg to come up here and say a few words and speak to his commitment. Cheers.
Hello, Patriots. How are ya?
Thought you were a cop sneaking up on me there, Roger.
There we go. That's better. Well, I'm honored and proud to stand before you today as the PPC candidate for the riding in Nipissing heading into the next election, whenever that happens. I think I owe that to a lot of the people that are standing here that supported my nomination and took the time out of their evening last night to get online and vote. So thank you all. And my commitment to you is to represent all of you and everybody in this riding with honor and integrity and commitment. And now the hard lifting begins. Now we take the fight to the federal government, we take the fight to Anthony Rota, and we look into account for everything that his government has done to this country in the last 2+ years and a few
Generations.
Yes, yeah, that too. I didn't have anything prepared today to come to speak, but I just want to say thank you again. If you have any questions or if you want to discuss anything that's important to you, I'll be here for the duration, and by all means, let's have conversations, and I'll draw on you to give me direction and move forward, and go forward as a warrior for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Eric has a table set up over here if you want to make any kind of commitment, find out more about the party he's representing and the people he'll be representing as us, feel free to go over to the table over here. Speaking of commitment, now, we had, those of you who are not committed to the Northern Freedom Alliance yet, you are in your heart, but you haven't signed up to join our team. We do meet every Wednesday at secret undisclosed locations. Every second Wednesday, yes. And we have great conversations, and we have committees that we are all forming, and we are committing to these various committees of different action items that we're taking. And also every second Wednesday we are also having educational sessions. And this week we were fortunate enough to have Irene speak about her commitment to health and wellness right over there. And that's part of the major commitment we have to make right now, is taking care of our health, right? It starts with you. So I'm wondering if Irene can come and speak a moment to that. Are you okay with that, Irene? Just to talk about how we can commit to health? And yeah?
Irene!
She's passionate about it, so I knew if I put her on the spot, she'd rise to the occasion because she's committed.
Hello, everybody. For anyone who's new here, my name's Irene Delata. I am a registered nurse, presently in the retired bracket. However, I'm still a registered nurse. Maybe a little bit about my background is applicable right now. I did Western medicine for 15 years in labor and delivery, psychiatry, public addictions, and well, no, addictions really isn't Western, and also telehealth nursing. By the time I was 40 years old, I was so crippled with osteoarthritis that there literally were mornings where I would wake up, and when I went to get out of bed, couldn't move my legs, and I had to use my hands to get them going. And then it got to a point where I'd be walking down the street and my leg would just give out on me and I'd be down on the ground. That's when I went to my doctor, and the doctor x-rayed. When I went back, she said, absolutely normal part of aging. You have osteoarthritis, it's quite severe. Here is 2 prescriptions for 100 Celebrex and 100 Tylenol number 3. Take them every day for the rest of your life. That didn't impress me at all. I had already questioned Western medicine. I wondered why there was just a prescription for everything to shut down the symptom that we were all having, when it didn't really address why the symptom was there in the first place.
The cause.
Don't get me wrong, there's some brilliance on that side of medicine. If we're in a car accident, they can definitely save my life. Get me to emerge, there's life-saving things in place for me. But on an everyday basis, the prescription being the answer for everything, I questioned that. But when it came to me taking them for the rest of my life, that wasn't going to fly. I asked her at that point if there was something that I could do about it, and she just said, like, shrugged her shoulder, like, what? And I said, I don't know, you're the professional, this is what I'm asking you. And she had no answer. And I said, well, what about a chiropractor? She laughed and she said, you want to waste your money, you go right ahead. I went home and I did the only thing I knew what to do. I prayed. I took those prescriptions. I knew that I did not have arthritis because my body was lacking a narcotic, and but I didn't know why. And I was looking for the answers through prayer and meditation. That following week, I had 3 sources tell me about it. 2 of them were clients actually, and just conversation. They had mentioned their experience going to the Kapala Center. My instincts went doing. What the heck is that? It's a meditation yoga retreat in Massachusetts. That intrigued me. I was new at learning how to meditate. And then that following Friday, I was at the dentist. I picked up a magazine while I was waiting for my turn, and it was open to a 2-page article on the Kapala Center. So I thought, okay, this is it. This is how you guys work. This is fabulous. So I followed my instincts. I looked it up. There was a lot of different modalities to choose from, but what jumped out at me was a 10-day raw juice fast. I don't know why that 10-day raw juice, well, actually, I wanted to lose weight. I didn't know the first thing about detoxing. I was a nurse. They never taught us anything like that. And but I thought, I'm going, because that is what is pulling me, and off I went. I learned more in those 10 days that made sense to me than any of my nursing. You give the body what the body needs, and the body's going to self-correct. Yes. God did not make junk. God made perfection. But it is our responsibility
to not fuck it up.
Care of that. So when I came home, of course I still had arthritis, but my life was changing. I learned that you give your body what your body needs, your body's going to self-correct, but just as important, you got to make sure those channels of elimination are working to carry those toxins out. That is our breath, how to breathe properly. It's our skin is our biggest eliminative organ. Our kidneys, drinking that water is important, but drinking quality water is important. And also making sure that your liver, which takes a heavy, heavy hit in today's world, and our colon are working properly. I changed careers at that time. I became a colon hydrotherapist. Every single door opened up to me easily and effortlessly. I have to tell you that the last 22 years have been a thrill for me. I've enjoyed every second. If you would have known me as a teenager and you knew what I was doing now, you would think, what? Have it. But it is a passion of mine. Detoxing is a passion of mine. Our health in a natural way is a passion of mine. And you know, I thought that becoming a colon hydrotherapist was the highlight of my life, but I was wrong. Everything in my life is accumulated so that I can stand here right now today and fight this fight with all of you good people. And if I can help in any way, shape, or form, I'm open to that. Right now, I am listening madly to what Judy Mikovits has to say, what Robert Kennedy has to say, what Dorothy Cahill has to say, and I'm trying to put the pieces together on what we can do to stay safe, because we know now that, I mean, whether people are where am I going to go with this? Injected. It is not a vaccination. It is absolutely not. You're right. Thank you. But even if what we weren't prepared for, certainly what I wasn't prepared for, I knew I was never going to take that jab. I will die first. But then we find out that the people who have gotten that jab are transmitting something from them, and we are getting sick by being around them. So that concerns me greatly, but there are things that we can do to keep ourselves healthy. And that's what my talk was about last week. Certainly I can give that again someday when you're interested, but I'm here at all the protests, or at least everyone that I can attend. I'm at the bi-monthly meetings, and just recently I've had the honor of being asked to sit on the committee, which I totally am honored by that. Gray car? What about it?
Well, don't they take pictures of us all the time? Is that enough to break car?
I have no idea. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm not here for them. I'm here for all of you. I've already gotten 2 tickets. I've given them to fight the fine. And I'm not worried about it. And the last time they gave me a ticket, I just rolled my eyes and said, oh, for God's sake, got another one. Like, I'm not going to stop going to these protests. And I'm not paying these tickets. And the police officers were really good. And they said, good, we're really glad. We're just doing our job. And I said, no, you're not. You need to join us. And I said, I'm a nurse. I'm standing outside of the box. We need you to join us in this fight. And you will. It's just a matter of time. So I really don't know what else to say other than I am here. I'm at your disposal, and if I can help in any way, please just ask. Thank you.
Irene's committed.
I am committed. Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. We've got time. So now I don't want to tell you about a little story of commitment and God. Yes, it was before I was a colon hydrotherapist. Oh no, yes, it was around that period. It doesn't matter. I was driving home from Toronto after taking a course in craniosacral. I was playing something spiritual on the radio, and I was just coming underneath a trestle around Trout Creek. And in the shadows, about 10:30 at night, all of a sudden 2 eyeballs came up. I screamed and said, help me God, because I really thought it was a human that was right in front of my car. There was a collision, and I'm telling you, a blue light and a warmth came over this car, and something other than me drove it very quietly off to the side of the highway. The front window was smashed. The car was a write-off. The front window was smashed. The side window was smashed, and I was jimmied into that car. I couldn't get out. And I felt, and I thought, oh God, it's fur. So I knew it wasn't a human, which was a good thing, because there was fur and guts everywhere. And a gentleman stopped and got the assistance that I required. And we had the police there and the ambulance and the fire department. And they put me on one of those boards to make sure I was okay. And they kept saying, like, they couldn't believe it. Because usually when you hit a moose, it's a much worse outcome than what was happening to me. I had a tiny little scratch on my cheek, and I even lost one of my earrings because the moose came so close. And I said, well, then maybe it was a baby moose, and they said, no, ma'am, it was a great big honking moose. And I got to the hospital again. It caused quite a stir because they do usually see that outcome. And I was fine. I had a little whiplash, but it just meant free massages and some chiropractic, which is actually great. But I'm fine today. When I got home at 2:30 in the morning, that's when it really hit me, is that, wow, like, here I am sitting in my kitchen when just as easily I could be sitting with those that have already passed. And I realized in that moment that it just simply wasn't my time. And I made a bigger commitment to God, is that I am here to serve you. Just show me the way. And that is part of why I'm here today, because this is what is right. I stand against what is wrong, and I am committed. Thank you.
Thank you, Irene.
Okay. Nice. I think anybody who speaks to anybody who's had any kind of near-death experiences, some of the stories are quite the same. Because I know when I looked up and I saw this double oil tanker bearing down on me and I knew he was going to hit me, I braced for it, but I knew when I was lying there reflecting that I made a choice in that moment. I saw he was going to hit me, and I heard in every fiber of my being, I screamed, no, I wasn't ready. And I guarantee you, all of you here have chosen to be here too, one which way or another. And the commitment that Irene's talking about is the commitment we all have to make here. When I came out of this 5 years of exposure to the insurance industry and litigation, lawyers, doctors, I was sicker coming out than I was going in. The process for healing is not humane. I had what did I have? I had irritable bowel, spastic colon, depression, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I was depressed. It was a nightmare. And my medical doctor at that time, we had a meeting, and we were both crying. He said, "What can I do to help you?" He said, "I'll do whatever it takes." And I was most depressed because I'd never had the child. I was supposed to have babies, and I didn't have any children. So I thought that my years are over because I was not that young anymore. So he said, "If I make the commitment to you, will you make the commitment to do what it takes?" And we were both crying, and I said yes. So he sent me, my medical doctor, to see a homeopathic naturopathic doctor at the Naturopathic College in Toronto. And that was my first time to learn how to take care of myself. So she got me detoxed, Irene. She got me detoxed. She got me cleansed. She got all the pharmaceutical toxic crap out of my system. It was all inflammation. That's what drugs do. They cause inflammation in your body. And that's what arthritis is. That's what fibromyalgia is. It's all inflammation. So everybody, if you make a commitment right here, right now, it starts with you, right? Take care of you, because the spiral goes outward, but it starts with you. You can't help your family, you can't help your children, you can't help your community, you can't help Northern Freedom Alliance, you cannot help this planet until you're standing in solidarity with yourself, right? So in commitment on that note, we also have someone who's been very committed to this movement too, Michelle Ashbrook, and she wants to speak to some of her commitments too before she gets committed. By the way, we all have to have a little bit of money set aside for bail money. I was just laughing about that this morning.
Yeah.
I don't know how I haven't been committed yet. Hey everybody, how's it going? Good? Good. I want to talk to you about actually a couple of things first, announcements. So on July 1st, we're going to have a Canada Day party. Just stay tuned for some details. We'll have them out shortly. July 6th, the Canadian frontline nurses are coming back, not just one, but all three of them are coming back for the entire day. So they are committed to doing what's right and never being ostracized, right? So very appreciative to have them back. And then in 2 weeks, like every 2 weeks, we are going to be here. We are committed to doing this until this insanity ends. Maybe even after that. Maybe even after that, because you guys are awesome. Yeah. All right, now, I would like everybody here, if you feel like it, if you don't. But, you know, I want you guys to promise to do something. I want you guys to make a commitment to yourself to be true to yourself. I want you guys to promise to make a commitment to do what's right, even when it's tough, even when it's scary, even when you are outnumbered, even in the face of the officials and public servants. Can we all make that commitment? I mean, we all are here, but let's continue to live, right? Thank you. I was going to say, last rally, there was a commitment that was hugely apparent from everybody at the last rally, because everybody stood together so that when the public servants, you know, dare try to stop us from exercising our freedoms and rights, free speech, they were trying to force us to step back and off of the grounds, and everybody committed to being together, and they forced them to step back. They made them step back, which is what we need to continue to do. Another type of commitment, so one that the public servants and police and political officials make. They make a commitment to serve us, the people, not the government, us. And it doesn't seem like they are, actually seem like doesn't seem like strong enough word, so they are not, I'm going to say, honoring their commitment to the people. Now does it?
Nope.
Anybody here think they are? Put your hands up. Nope. The people are the ones paying their salaries. We are honoring our commitment. Sorry, my handwriting is a little bit chicken scratchy, so we are honoring our commitment to pay their wages and their salaries, and yet they are not honoring their commitment to follow their oaths and serve the people. Why are our dollars going towards continuing to support them when they don't do what they are paid to do? Doesn't make any sense to me. There's some great nurses, church leaders, doctors, politicians that are in fact honoring their commitment to do no harm and do what's right and do what they have to do for the people, not the government. And they're being ostracized, degraded, and put through the ringer, sometimes even being fined, jailed, and having their licenses put at risk. Or even kicked out of their own parties for speaking the truth. So we need everyone's commitment here today to continue to do what's right, to encourage others to come out, to not back down. We need people to commit to stand up in the face of those who aren't honoring their commitment. When tyranny becomes law, revolution becomes duty. Have you guys ever heard that before? Yeah. Right? It's a commitment that we make to ourselves and our country. And that time, I think, is here. The government has made some serious commitments lately to silence all of us and call, okay, remote writing, the mainstream narrative. They're making a commitment with their propaganda and their mainstream narrative to silence us, to scare us, to intimidate us. So we need to be just as strong, if not more forceful back, and commit to continuing to do what's right and fighting for our freedoms. That's all I have to say today. Thank you all for coming here, for being committed. Love and appreciate you all.
Thank you, Michelle.
Now we have a special guest appearance, if you're all up for it. Alex is here, and she's going to give us a quick little update on her commitment. If you want to meet someone that's been committed through this whole thing, wowzers, here's Alex.
Really nice to see you all. Just to give you a little update about what's going on with me. This week we're getting ready to put forward our constitutional question. My lawyers are working really, really hard, and we are putting forward that constitutional question in one of the legal streams that we're pursuing, and possibly another one. So I really appreciate all of your support. I'm going to keep going as long as I can. I won't give up. Thanks. Yeah. Do you have any information here? Come and tell them.
Things kind of, happen and they seem ironic sometimes. And there's a gentleman in town that's purchasing t-shirts for us, and I was supposed to have the t-shirts today. And actually, he was diagnosed with COVID. So he said he's just tired, doesn't have much energy, but he's doing well otherwise, and we will have the t-shirts. So I just found that hugely ironic. But we will have them. And anybody else who wants to purchase a Northern Freedom Alliance t-shirt, please come and see me.
Ian, are you ready yet? He's been sucking up his courage to talk about what he's committed to. Ian's committed to free hugs.
Good day. I didn't really prepare much for today. I've been really busy with everything this week. There we are. But no, I always enjoy coming out and seeing beautiful people, and everybody's in support of the same cause here: freedom, celebration, love, unity. And I think at everything, my commitment is towards that unity, love, and celebration. We all have the right to it, and there's really nothing we can do about it, because if we do not cause harm or loss to anybody, we're not in breach of any contract we signed or agreed to, how are we saying we're doing wrong? So if it's not wrong, it's right, and let's celebrate that. So I'm all for, let's turn on some good music, start dancing, partying, celebrate. I want everybody to see this. We're just having a grand old time here. They can be envious or jealous or what have you, or let people think what they want. But this is just exhibiting that you're free, expressing your own freedom, your own uniqueness, your own creativity, whatever God or Creator you believe in. Let it pour through you and shine your light. Get rid of that darkness.
See, you're all welcome to come and testify to the microphone here too, right? Don't be shy. Come on down. Free hugs. Roger's here too, and he's got a special commitment he'd like to speak to if you're all willing to listen. Roger?
Yes. Hi everyone. Glad to see you guys out here today on this beautiful, and it is a beautiful day, not super hot, not super sunny, and not raining, so that's fantastic. First thing I want to say is I want to say thanks to Greg. And there's some things we need to realize, and you know, a lot of these people are speakers, but I'm a talker, and the difference is, you know, it's uncensored. So when you go to the polls this year, whenever we go to the polls, just remember you have three choices now: syphilis, gonorrhea, or the People's Party of Canada. Well, think about it for a second. When the federal Liberal Party is doing exactly what the Ontario Conservative Party is doing, there are no parties. Max was booted out because he didn't like that and he wanted to continue to have a real party. He's the only one of all the politicians who stepped out. Some of them flapped their gums and said this and that, but he's been across Canada, he's been arrested, and he's fought for us, and he's here for us, and now Greg has stepped forward and taken that on. Thanks, Greg. I want to ask, is Christine here? Christine.
Right here.
Hi, Christine. Welcome. So what I want to talk about today is, and I want to dedicate this to Christine's son, Jason.
How you doing?
He's part of that real pandemic that's out there. Not the pandemic, but the pandemic. He's one of the people who has died as a result of substance use and as a result of inaction of our government. They've got millions of dollars to piss out. They got $8 million to give companies like Loblaws to buy high-efficiency refrigerators, but there's no money to help our people, to help the real people. And part of my commitment here is to change that. And what I mean by that is we take over our government. They start to act for us, and we decide and we dedicate where the money goes to. Instead of how many of those fat cats are sitting there on our pensions. They're sitting at home now getting full pay, while people out here are starving, people are dying, people are hungry, people are lonely, people are scared, people are committing suicide, and people are dying of drug addiction. How the hell did we ever allow that to happen? How the hell, in a country like Canada, have we allowed that to happen? And I watched a video this morning, and it's kind of inspired me, because this guy talked about the cowardice that's here. He was a veteran of the war, and he fought in the war. Half of his platoon died. And his words were, what the fuck did we die for? What did we fight for? So that people can stay at home and wear their face diapers and hide? While liberty by liberty is being taken away from us, and we just sit back and we say that's okay? Not a chance, Jack, not a chance. Not as long as we're breathing, and as long as we can, we will continue. But we need to step forward. It's not just about this. We need to have people like Greg, and we need to support them, and we need to push them so that they can make a change. We also need, there's a lot of other things and a lot of alternative stuff we're talking about, about prepping. We're talking about being able to raise our own food and be able to feed ourselves and become less dependent on a pathetic government. And you know what the irony is? They're dependent on us. They need us. We don't need them. They need us. They need you working so they can take your money. They need you working so they can control you. They need you working so they can sell you their drugs, feed you full of the shit they produce and call it food, and have us eat that, eat ourselves to death. There's an ancient Aboriginal proverb where they talk about the time will come when the food's no longer safe to eat, the water's no longer safe to drink, and the air's no longer safe to breathe. So I say to that, wake the fuck up. That time is now. It's today. We're there. You look at the shit in your water. I was talking to somebody, I think it was Todd before the meeting. You take toothpaste, a little gob of toothpaste, and read the insert because it's no longer on the tube because they don't want you to see it. But it says if you swallow that you should call the Poison Control Center. And yet they're putting 10 times that amount of fluoride in our water, and we're sitting there and we're drinking it. They're taking the minerals out of the water that our body needs to survive because it's too costly to have it run through their pipes. They might have to clean it. When are people going to wake up? Are you kidding me? You know, I was at Chester's one time, and a young woman came over and she was all excited because we were going to get the jab first. First Nation people were going to get the jab first. And she said, isn't that great? When was the last time we were first? I said, we were first to get the blankets.
Yeah.
And they shared them generously with us. Are you kidding me? The government has never treated anyone fairly. No one, certainly not First Nation people. They can't get water to the reserves with all the billions of dollars they have, but they can sure get a shitload of vaccines there.
That need to be
why is that?
refrigerated.
It's called will. They don't have the political will. And how's that going to change? We will change that will. We will step up. We will have people like Greg. We will have people like Alex who's fighting for us. Where are you hiding now?
Down that way.
Over there. You know, we will have people like Alex. And what's important about what she's doing is she's standing up and fighting a fight for all of us. And it's our job to support her, because it's not just about her, it's about all of us. What they can do to her, they can do to us. And what they can't do to her, they can't do to us. And what they do to one of us, they do to all of us. Most people sit at home and they're waiting because, you know what, it hasn't affected me yet. It hasn't affected me yet. So I'm not going to do anything. But by the time it affects them, guess what?
Too fucking
it's
late.
Too late. Surprise, surprise, surprise. So as you do this today, first of all, I want to encourage everybody. Every rally you come to, bring a person, bring somebody, you know, and bring that person and share with them the experience we have. But also start thinking about, where do we want this to go? What do we want our world to look like? Do we want more of the same? Or do we want, I was just sharing today about the love around this group, around this meeting, the people I've met. You know, there's probably not a person here that I don't feel that if I was stuck, if I was struggling, if I was stranded, that I could not ask for help. Where the hell is that in the rest of the world? We forgot about all that because what we've done is our families have been attacked. You know, why is it the guy from Timmins has to go to Sault Ste. Marie to work, and the guy from the Soo goes to London, the guy from London to Sudbury, the guy from Sudbury to Ottawa? That's all part of the plan to break down our support systems, attack the churches, attack any kind of spiritual gatherings to keep us from congregating. But here we are, right? Here we stand in love.
Free to assemble.
And kindness, with smiles on our face. You know, I was reading an article that was written by, and I won't even give the person credit because I don't know if I would call that journalism, but I asked why they weren't investigating some certain things, like the fact that no one that gathers at these rallies has been sick. You know, why is that? And why is it that there's so many people that have gotten the jab that are dying and sick and dying? Why is it that 10 people died of the H1N1 jab and they canceled it and they took it out, but now this one they continue to run with it? Why is all that? I don't expect any answers because it will not change until we change it. So when you leave today, make a commitment to yourself, make a commitment to each other to change things. And just in case no one's told you today, I want to tell you, I love you all.
Love you too, Roger.
Well, that was
Oh, someone's awake now. Anything you wanted to say?
What?
There's COVID vaccine data. The deaths here, so to date in the U.S. right now is up to 6,136 deaths, 21,806 hospitalizations. When is enough enough?
I just wanted to carry on a little bit off of what Roger was talking about. But first, I'd like to thank Greg for running as a new leader for this province, but for this country federally. An honest government that's going to come back and hopefully destroy what Trudeau, the damage that Trudeau has done. Anyways, a little bit up on what Roger was talking about. If you look at what's going on right now in this country, this has been going on for decades. Nothing is new. Roger talked about the natives, you know, getting the blankets back in the day when the government was trying to annihilate them, so we could just do as we pleased, being the European settlers here, and just take them out of the picture. Just having that happen is disgusting. But they've pitted people against each other all the time. It's always been the whites against the natives. It's been the whites against the blacks. That what's going on right now with Black Lives Matter is nothing but another radicalized group that is funded by George Soros to bring animosity amongst people and to pit people against each other. When we're infighting, doing this all the time, we're not paying attention to what they're doing to us. We miss out on all that stuff. And right now, even with the natives were the first ones to get the shots, which to me was just utterly disgusting. And it kind of scared me when that happened, because I thought, how could they possibly trust the government because of what they've done before? But the fear was put into them so badly, well, into everybody, that they thought they love us, they care about us, they're going to do the right thing this time. And that's not happening. There's been so much animosity between, you know, natives and white people, and I know lots of people that are pissed off all the time. Well, how come the natives get this? How come they get the free paychecks? How come they don't have to work? And I'll admit for myself, in my younger years, until I got educated on it, I was one of those people. I used to think the same thing. I thought, why are they getting everything for free and I've got to pay for this? Once I educated myself on what was really going on and what happened in the past, it brought a big understanding to me. Part of that is becoming Christian and letting God inspire my life and softening my heart and understanding. And that's right now we're having that big problem here, and it's the same thing with Black Lives Matter. They were having a big event out in Vancouver yesterday, and the media puts it out, oh, the poor people had to struggle through all the heat for Black Lives Matter. The police were there, but they were there to make sure that there was no other groups interfering with what they were up to. We don't get, well, today we've got it, there is no police here, which is kind of nice for once, but usually we're the troublemakers, we're the new terrorists. And that's where this problem has got to come to an end. We've got to stay strong with each other, for each other. Doesn't matter a race, creed, color, language, whatever it is. I've came here, I've met some amazing Aboriginal people here, Native people. I went to school with this young gentleman here, with Dan. He took the recording course there, digital cinematography at Canada College, and I worked in the office where I handed out the equipment. Great gentleman there. Learned a lot from him over the time period that I was at Canada College. Roger, I'll do anything for the man. He's just an amazing guy, and I'll do it. Same thing, I'll do anything for any of you. We got to stay strong together, back each other up, stand against government, and don't let them intimidate us and make us turn on one another. That is the most important thing. God bless you all. Take care.
Thank you.
So again, if any of you are still looking forward to committing to this movement here and being true to it, emails can be passed over here, and Michelle can take your email list, and then you get to come to our weekly meetings or our bi-weekly meetings and engage with some of the educational classes and courses we're giving. That we want to bring more of that here as well. We're talking about doing a flea market, garage sale, kind of rummage sale, so that we can do some sort of exchange, barter with each other. That way make a few bucks, because, you know, we are all essential, and sometimes a few bucks here and there can really make a difference. So that's all coming too, but if you want to join our movement and commit, please give us your email address and we'll get you in the loop. Anybody else have anything they'd like to testify to regarding commitments? Come on, I know you're there. Steve, you. Come on, Steve. Would you like to come and say a few words? John. Talk about commitment?
I could.
Yeah?
I could, yeah.
Come on, John. Bob, what about you? Bob, what about you, Bob? No, Bob, come and speak for the Forbes family. Decide who'd like to go first.
I'll, you can go first if you'd like, man. Yeah, go right ahead.
Rob.
Well, you know something? All my life I knew there was something
Speak
wrong.
into the microphone, Bob.
All my life I knew there was something wrong, right?
Who's on mic detail? Let's make it up.
Don't we have a committee for that?
Make it taller for this big guy. That work for you?
No, all my life I knew there was something wrong, and I could never figure out what it was because it didn't make sense. But now when we're doing all this stuff, now it makes sense. This has been bullshit for so long, guys. Like, everybody should love each other. I mean, I don't care if you're black, white, or green. You're saying Canadians are racist and that Americans are racist? That's all bullshit. You know, I don't see a person if he's an Indian or black. Do you think I care whether he's either good or he's not? You know, like, all our life we knew there was something wrong. Now we know the truth, guys, that we can turn this, and we need leaders like him. He's going to put us back on track, and we're going to make sure he makes it, because these assholes are going to get their asses kicked, and we got to do it, guys. We got to do it. Yeah.
Good job. Thank you. Hello. I go by the name Dominic Phillip, and I'm of the St. Jean family. And I'd just like to say as well, if you guys can all go out there and advocate against any mayor or political authority who's trying to promote or advocate for the injection or for the Colt 45 shot, as one of our friends likes to call it. Another thing I'd like to talk about for commitment, it's in regards to your standing or your status. All you good men and women out here today, I can see that you're all living and breathing, so you're not just persons. And maybe you are a person on paper to them, but I know you here standing here today are men and women, and with a bit of paperwork you can correct that, and then you can rescind and cancel all obligations and contracts that hold you liable or hold you in any form or way accountable to have to adhere to their bullshit laws and legislations and acts that only apply to persons, not to men and women. So thank you. Yeah, I think that was good.
Thank you, Dom. Lowercase d.
Yeah.
Ian, in his commitment to his common law education and knowing, has brought a letter for us all here to pick up. It's right over there on the table, and it's a letter to our favorite Jim Cherico. Would you like to hear the letter that
yes.
you can pick up and sign and deliver to him?
Yeah.
There it is.
I mean,
Good day, Jim Cherico, a man who sometimes acts as a doctor, physician, or medical officer of health for the North Bay Parry Sound District Health Unit. I believe that hospitals, schools, and medical establishments was created by the people to benefit the people. I have been made aware of your involvement with North Bay Parry Sound District Health Unit, North Bay Medical Center, and North Bay Regional Health Center, and I know that you were elected to serve the people, even the minorities, to act on their wishes and not your own. Although I, as one of the people, see you are causing harm, loss, and injury to the people, and I, by way of trespass. You, working in the Department of Anesthesia, should know that there is no such thing as one-size-fits-all advice, medicine, treatment, or remedy. Each and every man, woman, and child requires an approach to determine what is best for each and every man, woman, and child. Also, every man and woman has the right to refuse advice, medicine, treatment, or remedy without penalty imposed upon their person or body from the government, from you, or from any entity that you may represent. The people and I have the right to be exempt from face coverings if it is believed a face covering will cause the I or the people harm, loss, or injury without penalty. The people and I have the right of informed consent and to be read all possible side effects, potential side effects or injuries prior to administering an inoculation as ethical medical practice and without penalty. The people and I have the right of freedom of assembly, right of freedom of speech, and the right to be let alone, to travel to visit loved ones, to give a hug, to gather for a celebration, and to exercise many other unalienable rights without penalty from any man or woman or any service of the public, and will continue to do so given that no harm is caused. There is no accrued financial loss, and no injury has occurred to any man or woman from any action or inaction of the people or I. If I or the people am in error, it is required that we present verifiable evidence sworn in under oath or affirmation and under penalty of perjury in proof of your claim or the position you maintain. Since it has been over a year without presenting verifiable evidence to I or the people, I am left to presume that no such evidence exists. Also, you required to train, monitor, and discipline your subordinates, and in failure to do so makes you liable for the duties you swore to uphold. Without verifiable evidence of your beliefs or the position you maintain, it is the wish, order, and demand of I that you cease to desist in causing harm, loss, and injury to I and the people now that you have been notified of said trespasses. If said wish, order, and demand is fulfilled, I, one of the people, will forgive and forget any and all trespasses, given that you forgive and forget any and all trespasses of I and the people. If said wish, order, and demand is not fulfilled, illustrating an intent to cause harm to I and the people, you will have given no choice but for I to file a claim of trespass and seek fair and just compensation for it. Signed, I, one of the people.
Yeah,
Thank
good job.
you.
Right behind you.
What do you think? There you are.
Blue pen is the best. It's ideal. Black is the sign of a photocopy. It's hard to tell the difference between the original and the photocopy. Red and black. Red is optional, but I find that to be like a blood bond, and I don't really want to do a blood bond with Jericho. But yeah, aside from that, this is one of the documents of several. There's another one that's over there that illustrates all the mask exemptions that are created by their statute. A lot of people don't know there's, I believe, 17 different categories in which you can be exempt on. And then also further on down within the same document, it illustrates that you do not need any evidence to prove your claim of exemption. So it's sort of silly that they've established these regulations, and that's exactly what it is, Regulation 82/20, in which we are supposed to regulate ourselves, even though regulations are intended for the government to regulate itself, not for the people. But they put these scare tactics on the news and the media and everything like that. That you must wear it, you must wear it. And I was like, that sounds like a king or a dictator, saying stuff like that, an order and demand for a land of a commonwealth free people. So I go up and I investigate it a bit more, and I look it up, and it's literally, if you fall in one of the 17 different categories that you have here and you have absolutely no proof, you're exempt. Well, that sounds pretty scary. But no, to further along with it, because I wasn't really prepared for the speech earlier, the topic of commitment reminded me of a poster that I have on my wall in my place. It's just a quote written by Margaret Mead. If anybody's familiar with her, she's a historian. She studied history her entire life. And what she claims in the statement, the quote in there, is never doubt a group of committed and thoughtful people, for it is the only thing that has ever changed the world. So, thank you for everybody who's very thoughtful, committed, and let's change the world.
I put a blue pen out there, Ian, so we can sign in blue. So the answer to changing the world, I think we all know already, the answer to changing the world is changing yourself, right? We all get that? It all starts with you. So make your commitment today, whether it means you change the water you're putting in your body, the thoughts you're putting in your head, the movies and videos you're watching, they're all preconditioned programming from our friends, the cabal, anyway.
Turn off the TV.
Turn off the TV is number one. Good point. Good point, brother. Turn off the TV. Yeah. Monitor what you're bringing into your lives, because all of it's inflammation right now. And so take care of the inflammation you're allowing into your body. Hang out with your friends. Sing.
Daily affirmations.
Oh, daily affirmations. Meditation kind of saved my life too. If you do yoga, stretching, meditation, all that stuff is all good, right? Keeps your body moving. Anybody else have anything to testify? Microphone, come on. Bring it. Nobody? Hi, what's your name? What is it? Xander. Come on up, Xander.
Hi, this is actually my first rally, and I showed up about 30 minutes ago.
Thank you.
Greg over there.
He's hiding.
Moving around a lot.
Guy gets around.
And I actually just came back to North Bay. I went to high school here, but I brought my family and myself. I brought my family and myself from Ottawa back to North Bay because things are getting a little scary there, and and with the lockdowns and that, it's been made quite clear that it's about controlling our ability to have discussions, have discourse with each other, have conversations, and figure out what's going on. Because that's actually how you make sense of the world. Is that when you express your thoughts, you talk to people, they talk back, and that's how we make sense of things. Of course, they don't want us to make sense of things, and what they want to actually dictate to us how the world is and how we are to behave, and that's very much the problem that we're facing here. And it's all been a training exercise. I don't know if you went even before the lockdowns, but there was this thing about plastic straws going on, where suddenly plastic straws were the way to change the world. Plastic bags. So the plastic straws was like really stuck out to me as this is very strange and very new, and it moved through the population very quickly, and suddenly plastic straws were the devil. And then you move on, and we get into these lockdown things. At the same time, we have the Black Lives Matter protests going on, and we have people taking the knee. You have people taking the knee, and you have people putting masks and hiding their faces. These are all signs of submission, and they're training us to submit to things, to just listen and obey. And don't make sense of things. Now they started by shutting down our ability to talk to our friends and families, form communities, and now they're doing it online as well with Bill C-10. They're trying to shut down the online discourse as well, because what they found is people could actually rise up and start blogging and start talking and getting their words out there and just trying to make sense of the world around them and trying to make sense of what's going on. And we would start building our own structures instead of listening to TV. So of course they can't have that. And now that they've opened this up and we can start communicating, so this is very much important. Like this is really how we stand up to them, right? Is by getting together. And I invite you, don't just like it's great to have these rallies and things, but it starts with you. Like Joanna said, it starts with you, but it also starts with your family and your friends and your community, right? So reach out to them. Don't let them shut down those bonds. Don't let them shut down your communication. Tell people honestly what you see, and listen to what they see as well, because that's how we pull people in. That's how you bring people around. If you have people who are not willing to hear you because they're scared and they're only listening to the government, listen to what they say. And if they see you listening to them in face to face, if you've got those doors of communication, then they'll be more amenable to listen to you too. So have those conversations with people. Keep the communication going. It starts with you, and then your family, your friends, your community, your country. We build these things up, and that's what we got to do. We want to build back our country. Well, that's right. Is their phrase?
Build back better.
If we want to restore things, it starts with us going out, being courageous, and having these conversations. I suck at ending, so I'm going to leave it at that.
Good job. Thank you, Xander.
Xander, what does Xander do? What do you do?
I am a web developer.
Here in North Bay?
Now in North Bay.
And what would your perfect client look like?
I only have one client right now. Okay.
Well, this is what Xander's talking about. Some other people mentioned it here. The whole idea is to build a society parallel to the one that does not need us, right? Because they lie to us about the 1%, right? Think about, what is it, 7 billion population? What's 1% of that? Come on, they're not even close to that, right? They're 0.1%. Ruling the masses. And how does that happen?
Well done.
Only by our consent. right? So if we build a parallel society, I mean, come on up here, we'll make a list. What do? You deserve to cut hair. I deserve to sell soap. You deserve to dig ditches or clear property. You deserve to open your restaurant. We're all essential. We're only doing this or not. We've closed our businesses because they told us to. They told us to, and we said, okay. So we can't feed our family. We can't pay our bills. I don't know about you, but the taxes on my property, my bill comes in regardless of whether I'm working or not, right? I still got to buy groceries. So plant a garden so you can feed your family and feed your neighbors. The more we become independent, the less dependent we become on the system. And they will realize this 0.001%, they have always needed us a hell of a lot more than we need them. Share with each other while you're here what you do for a living, what you're looking for, what we can do to help you. If you're looking to plant a garden or move some furniture, we can all help each other, okay? Commitment. Anybody else want to talk? There's muffins up here too and some goodies. Sorry you don't have any coffee, but feel free to mingle and we'll play some tunes. How about that? Yeah? Thank you all for coming.
And I actually took, okay, so these are cute, right? So what do you think?
So there you have it, folks. We've got our speeches done. We're gonna go around and socialize, so I'll come back on after. Thank you for watching.